Hey there, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Robyn with Redline Shipping. This is my buddy Chen from Palmstreet, and we are here in a new Epic Conference session. And the things we're going to do today, we're going to talk about things we've learned in business. Um, Again, my name's Robyn. I'm with Redline Shipping. I've been in the reptile industry 35 years, and I've done a number of different things. I started as a reptile breeder in early 1990s, and I did that for a long time until 2011. 2009, I started ShipYourReptiles to provide shipping service for live animals across the country. 2012, I started the Reptile Report, bringing the best pictures and videos from across the reptile world and invert world and aquatics world to our Facebook and Instagram profiles. And then in 2022, I started the Redline companies, Redline Shipping, Redline Science. So I've been in many different parts of the industry. For the second half of my career, I've been on the service and support side, and I find a lot of value and fulfillment in that side of things. And I'm going to touch on that a little bit. Yeah, this is my buddy Chen. He's the president of Palmstreet. Chen, will you maybe give a little bit of background on your own journey and how we get to today with Palmstreet?
For sure. Thanks, Robyn. Hey, everyone. I'm Chen. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of Palmstreet. So myself, I started my career at Apple, worked 5 years at Apple, developing the first batch of iOS apps for the whole world. And
Okay.
then I joined Instagram for 3 years. So I led the engineering team to build Instagram Direct, the little chat feature inside IG right now. So after Instagram, I saw the big boom of a short video in Asia. I was like, somebody's gonna create a TikTok from Asia to the US. So I
Mhm.
joined the startup, tried to recreate TikTok in the US. In the end, TikTok did that, so we didn't make it. But then, luckily, I got started with Palmstreet. So today, Palmstreet is the #1 live shopping platform for unique goods, such as geckos, snakes, rare plants, crystals, handicraft, etc. Basically, everything unique. So we strive on two pillars. #1 is the live shopping feature, where people they go live, they do the educational piece, they have fun, they sell stuff. We've seen all kinds of business thriving and growing on Palmstreet. For example, we had some sellers, they were able to go live stream for 3 days and 10 hours nonstop. Like
Like
crazy.
3 days consistent?
It's 3 people in the team, so everyone go live for 8 hours, then go back to sleep and eat, and then the other people come around, and then the third people. So 3 days, 10 hours nonstop.
Wow.
Yeah, we've seen like some live stream, they have more than 5,000 people tuning in for the same session. So people, they're always been having fun, they're buying, they're learning together. So that's one piece. Then the other piece is because of the live shopping feature nature, like the community, they are coming around. So if I'm a collector of anything, of whether it's a gecko or whether it's plants, I feel no need to do that by myself. Well, in the live stream, people, they are watching, they are gathering around of the live host. So people are having fun, and in the end, they start to make friends with each other. They're having chat, they're having the fun discussions, etc.
I mean, you find that that community aspect is really big in the reptile world, right? So we have a big industry. I mean, it's, hundreds of millions of dollars,
Mhm.
but the reality is it's a pretty close knit family of people, right? When we go to reptile shows across the country,
Yep.
you see the same faces again and again. When you're working in a particular category, whether it's geckos or snakes or merchandise, you get to know all the players and all of the
Yep.
hobbyists and companies in that segment.
Yep.
So while we do a lot of business as a whole, that community aspect is very strong in the reptile world. And so I can see the strong parallels, right, between plants and reptiles, for example. And I know Palmstreet is huge in the live plant selling market. And then recently, last year, you started pushing into the reptile side. And I know it's been really well received.
Thank you.
You started with the gecko sellers,
Yep.
and I mean, those guys just hit the ground running. And that's a really, really strong segment. So I'm excited to see the new technology that you're bringing to our market. I do like that live interactive aspect that you're talking about. And I'm anxious to see, where it goes from here.
Yeah, for
And as you
sure.
continue to grow, both Palmstreet as an app and your team and that whole community.
Yeah, for sure. Like for me, it's like I'm both ambitious in how technology is evolving, but also humble in learning from the community, right?
Yeah.
So we've seen like actually live shopping, I would say it started with US with QVC, the TV shopping, and then moved back to Asia because of the mobile industry over there, and then moved into the US because of the big retail market in the US, the biggest in the whole world. So we are confident about the technology itself. But on the other side, like whenever we go to any industry, whenever we talk to the people, we're always humble. We learn so much. Like the most amazing thing about the reptile community is whenever I see some people, they're wearing Redline t-shirt.
Yeah.
I would say like, do you work for Redline? They say, no, I work for another company. And they're always wearing each other's t-shirts, supporting each other. That community is really strong. That gave me the most heart, most likes.
Yeah. And I love that as well. And that's, like I said, for the second half of my career, being on the service side and the supporting side of the industry has been very fulfilling, because I get to participate and interact with such a wide variety of people in our world, right? So I wanted to bring you on because, essentially we're both entrepreneurs, right?
Yep.
Doing our own companies and pursuing our own vision. And one of the things I wanted to touch on was the team that we're able to put around our company to make it be successful. I think that the single most difficult aspect of having a successful business is staff. Finding great staffers, and originally when I started Redline, finding great partners was very, very important to me. And the ability to bring in a partnership team for that foundation was really crucial, because for my particular business and my particular approach, I couldn't do it myself, and I still can't do it myself. But I look at team members both from a partnership standpoint and from a staffing standpoint, right? My customer service staff, my account managers, that whole team of people is important to me. And so I wanted to touch on that because I find it's the, like I said, the single most effective aspect of being successful is surrounding yourself with a great team. I find that different people have different talents and different people have different weaknesses.
I agree.
There's a number of things I'm really good at. I'm really passionate about. I'm passionate about the marketing side. I'm passionate about promos. I'm passionate about relationships. But there's also, I have weaknesses as well. And so I want to try and fill my team with people that have strengths where I have weakness, right? So we can fill it in as a whole, and so we can have the strongest team. And I tell you what, I do have some superstar members of my team, like just really off the charts, quality people. And, my thought to folks that are putting together a team, once you find that type of superstar staffer, you're willing to do almost anything to retain them, right? Because they're so difficult to find, like totally diamond in the rough, just like liquid gold people. And the other thing I find with teams is I do want to play into people's strengths. And when they play into their strengths, you can find other areas that they're strong in. Yep. And I want to empower them to be able to branch out and grow into those areas, right?
Yep.
And so when you're looking to put together the Palmstreet team, how do you look at the strengths and weaknesses, and how do you value the staff when you're putting together your team?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So right now, Palmstreet, we are a global company. So we have an employee in US, in Canada, in Mexico, in all across Asia. So we have a total of 65 employees in total.
65?
Yeah, 65 in total.
Okay, I think we have 9 for Redline, and that seems like a lot. But 65 is a lot more.
It is, but then so Palmstreet, we're there for 5 years. For the first 3 years, it's just 6 people in total for the first three years. So the way I do it is, number one, I find the best talent. For every talent I hire, I usually will scan through 100 resumes, and I would personally phone call 20 of them. And then I will actually do some mock interview, like do some homework test with at least 2 to 3 of them. Okay. And then pick 1 or 2 of them to work with. And also in the interview process, not only I value how they behave in their profession, but also the more important thing is their culture. For example, I'm the type of person, I really like to be hands-on. Everything I want to be hands-on. Like I want to be coding early days. And when we have marketing, even though I'm not a marketing person, I want to learn and do it by myself. Sure. So I want to hire the same type of people. Like they're good at something, but then in a startup, they have to wear many hats.
Yeah.
I want to make sure they can wear the many hats. So, and another piece of value is, are they in the industry? Are they in the community? So early on, when we try to hire plant people, one of my most important interview questions is, how many plants do you have in your home? And if they say 20, I say, okay, so turn on your camera, show me around your home. I want to see 20 plants. So that's how I find the people who are talented, who have the right culture, who have the industry backgrounds to join me. And then also to retain them early days, because they are everywhere in the world. So I would actually fly to their city to have lunch, have dinner with them, to make sure they trust me as a human being rather than just another digital people on the other side of the world.
I love that. I love that. Does that, I mean, if you have staff around the world, does that mean you're flying around the world and in some cases to meet potential staffers?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. That's fantastic. Yeah. I've not thought about that. My Redline staff is also remote. I essentially rebooted my shipping company in 2022.
Actually, that's very unique, right? Because early days, I thought it's mostly tech companies that are doing remote. But then shipping companies, so many more companies in different industry are being remote. That's a
modern thing, right? Yeah. And frankly, it's one of the things I had to learn because I wasn't that comfortable with it. Or, in the teens, in the 2000s, I wasn't comfortable with it. But like I said, when I had the chance to reboot the company, it just didn't make sense to have a central office, right? And so it turns out that most of my team is remote. We have team members in Ohio, we have team members in Michigan, San Diego, East Coast, West Coast, Colorado is where I'm based. But that also made it challenging, to your point, about finding the right fit and make sure they're the right cultural fit for what we're doing, right? They're dedicated, they're passionate about, I need them to be passionate about the reptile world, right?
So what's your process to find them?
Well, it's networking for me. And it goes back to the tightness of the reptile world, right? We all kind of live together in that bubble. And so all of my staff have been involved in reptiles in some shape or form. Some are breeders, some are hobbyists, some come from other reptile companies. And so it's networking, which kind of leads me to my next topic on our talk is the value of networking and relationships. So, I've been at this for almost 35 years. And the first 15 years of my career was breeding live animals. And that's a very competitive segment of the market. You're always trying to produce the latest thing. And you're always trying to keep up with the other breeders that are the vanguard of your world. And that's very challenging. It's a lot of stress. And, breeding live animals is also difficult. Like, it's not guaranteed success.
And there's cycles.
Yes, absolutely. And so that competitive environment where I was always trying to keep up with the other breeders was a different mentality. Once I closed down that breeding side and I pivoted over to the service and support side, it opened up my whole life in the industry, and to be able to be supportive of everybody else in the industry through shipping support or through Reptile Report. We help shine a bigger spotlight on smaller breeders or smaller hobbyists that are doing really great work, but they just don't have the exposure to a larger audience. So Reptile Report, for example, is able to show a particular hatchling or some kind of product to a very large audience. And so to be able to fulfill that on the supportive side of the industry is very gratifying for me. It's really fulfilling. And so the second half of my career, now 15 plus years, my focus has been on networking and making relationships. When I go to a show, when I go to a reptile show, and it seems like I do a million these days, and it's maybe 20 a year. But if Redline has a booth at the show, I do have staff there, and they sell reptile bags and insulated boxes and heat packs and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not at the booth. I'm on the floor. I spend the entire weekend on the floor, and I'm working my relationships.
Great.
I'm working my connections. and I want to connect with the people in my industry and see if there's something I can do to contribute to help them move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes it's not an immediate payoff.
Takes time.
Right? Yes, it takes time. It has to evolve. It has to mature. Again, a big drive of mine is supporting great people doing great work. It doesn't matter if there's benefit to Redline in that. If I see small gecko breeder or small spider breeder doing great work, it doesn't matter whether they use my shipping company or not. I just want to know, how can I support them in growing their business?
Yeah, actually, that's the type of pattern I've seen from you, from Redline, and also from a lot of the community members in the reptile community.
Yeah, and again, that's one of the great values of the reptile world.
Yep.
But if I can help somebody grow their business and move it forward, sometimes through mentorship, sometimes through just business discussion at shows, and frankly, sometimes just through saying hello, just making the connection.
Yep.
That's the goal. And oftentimes, I will connect one party with a different party. And again, Redline or Robyn has nothing to do with it. But I see that this person could add value to this person's project or business or drive. And so I connect those two people together, make an intro, and then step back and let those people thrive and move forward with that. So this is one of the most important things I've learned in business, is the value of the networking and the value of the relationships. I talk to people all the time that talk about going to reptile shows. And they're like, oh, I can't afford the booth, or maybe it's a popular show like NARBC and they can't get a booth, right? It's sold out. The Phoenix Reptile Expo is coming up in a few weeks. Sold out. You can't get a booth. But there's still value of you going to the show.
A lot of the value.
Yeah. In fact, there may be a lot more value of going to that show because you're not stuck behind a booth.
Yep.
Instead, you can work the entire floor. And say you are a gecko breeder, right? You do leopard geckos. Mm-hmm. You can go talk to the handful of leopard gecko breeders that are at the show. But even better, go talk to the snake breeders that are at the show. Go talk to the caging folks. Go talk to the feeder folks. What you're looking for is any takeaway from the show that you can apply, whether it's a philosophy,
yep,
whether it's a strategy,
yep,
whether it's a relationship or a connection. Oh, I'm not interested in selling live auctions. Okay. But talk to the Palmstreet team. Talk to Veronica, because she's active. Veronica is one of the Palmstreet staffers you'll see at the reptile shows. She is super active in working the whole show and talking to people and learning the whole industry. And she may have some gem of information that applies to what you're doing. And there, even just a 3-minute conversation, there may be a takeaway there that you can then apply to what you're doing, your segment, your lane, and move yourself forward. So it's important to know that not every connection, not every relationship is going to have an immediate payoff.
Yep, exactly.
And a lot of times there's no actual monetary payoff at all, but it's just a joint connection, and it's the ability to move forward.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Like, especially the in-person part, that's super important. Like, I met you through a sushi dinner.
Yeah.
And then you introduced me to Brian Kuso and Adam.
Yeah.
Because they were big influencers, and we are starting with the industry.
Yeah.
So it's important to have the in-person experience to build up to everything else behind that. And then after we had the collaboration, they introduced us to other industry sellers and breeders. So this in-person definitely helped. And I personally value the in-person trade show a lot. Palmstreet this year, we are going to 80 trade shows across the whole team.
Okay, that's a lot.
And we are vending 12
that's a lot
in different industries.
Yeah.
Every trade show, like as you said, like I think one thing is for us to be there so people know who are we, so we can answer questions. The other part is for us to meet them in person so we can understand, hey, what's challenging in your business? How can we be helpful? Like we want to be the best helper, like similar to you guys. Like,
support.
To support people, right? So essentially, Palmstreet as a platform, we are a networking platform. So we connect breeders, we connect shippers, we connect buyers, we we connect influencers all together, and then we use technology to connect every human being together. The other way that's special about how we look at connection with the technology is, even though we say we are a tech startup, but we are in the person business, right? So we say like Elon Musk, he is in the business of building AI and send human being to Mars. But Palmstreet, we are in the business of keeping everyone who is on the earth to live a happier life through making the community and the connections.
Yeah, I love that. And you mentioned Brian Cusco. He's a YouTuber. Adam from Proper Royals, a YouTube podcaster. And yeah, we met them at dinner.
Yep.
I worked with both of those guys. And the idea that Palmstreet might engage with them on promotional level, right? Creating content or advertising, marketing, whatever it is. If you were to engage with Brian Cusco, it doesn't make me a nickel. It doesn't. But it helps Brian move forward, right? And I love what he does.
Yep.
It helps Adam move forward, and I love what he does. They're both great at what they do.
Exactly.
And if they improve their game, they improve their business, and they improve their output in the reptile world. I mean, number one, the immediate effect of that is that both of those guys interview people, right? And interact with people.
Yep.
So the better they get, the better the interviews get, and the better the people that they're interviewing then get more exposure. So it's just a growing network and a ripple effect.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't have to benefit from Brian connecting to Palmstreet or Adam connecting to Palmstreet, because I think it takes the industry forward as a whole. And those are two great people to work with. So it also benefits you, right?
Yep.
Because you can identify great folks that you can associate and do business with. Because it can be challenging to choose, like, you know, what are the right personalities, who's going to be a good fit, who's going to match our culture. And so when you do this networking and you do this exposure and you chat somebody up at a show or you have dinner, right, and just share a meal and just have casual conversation, you can understand the vibe and say, I want to work with this person more, right?
Yeah, I think the vibe check is really important, right? So we make sure they are the people who really care about animal, they are knowledgeable, they're friendly people, and also they're very creative people. So together, we are not just hiring a normal influencer to do the ads, right? They are brainstorming all the different type of creative ads they can do, how to make the promotion really creative and engaging.
Yeah, and you know, I did a previous session with Wild Types and Mo from Tarantula Cribs. One of the things we talked about was engaging with creators, right, and promo teams, and the fact that you don't have to just engage with large established names. There's also value in engaging with, you know, maybe the micro brand influencers or the startup influencers, the younger ones. Either younger in age or younger in their careers, right? They maybe not been around for 10 or 12 years, but there are folks that are doing and creating content that is going to have value for you, even if they don't have a gigantic audience. There's actually great value in associating with somebody that's very early on in their career, right? And you can grow with them. And so, you know, Cusco and Adam, they both have established audiences. They continue to grow. But I also get a lot of excitement about working with smaller creators. You know, I've been working the Wild Type girls. They really do a great job in their presentation. I love the demographic that they're after with bringing young kids into the reptile world. I've been working with the Fear to Fascination crew, which they work with Palmstreet too. That's right. And I've been encouraging them, like Fear to Fascination. They're ball python breeders, right? It's Joe and Ash, a team to breeds ball pythons, but they also make great content.
Yeah,
and I recognize that, and so I encourage them. Like, there's an opportunity here, not just to make fun, engaging content, but to make promotional content and creative content and marketing content, and start creating these relationships and connections with different brands, different trade shows, you know, different reptile expos. And I think that's, you know, for that team in particular, I think that's where their future is, because they're really good at it. Their production's great. Their personalities are great. And so I've been working hard actually to network and connect them to different people in the industry.
Yeah, and I believe in working with smaller sellers or influencers because they bring a different and new angle.
Yeah.
And when they really care about the community, care about the animals, like they will thrive. And myself, like 5 years ago, it was just myself for the whole company. And then 3 years ago, 5 people in the whole company. Now we grew into 65 full-time employees. But then like essentially like we were new 5 years ago. And then those people who are new today, who knows what the type of crazy things they can do in 2 years, 3 years.
Yes, 100%. There's somebody that's going to watch the Epic conference and watch some of the talks, maybe the podcasting talks or the YouTube talks, and maybe they started creating content last week, or maybe they're going to start next week. But they're going to have that right creativity, the drive, and the passion. The passion's very, very important. And 3 years from now or 5 years from now, they're going to have something significant, right? Because they're making a foundation today. So again, it's not just about working or networking with the established folks. There's literally thousands of people out there in the reptile and invert world that have just vast potential.
True.
And that's when I go to the shows, I do stop and visit with Josh's Frogs or Pangea. I talk to the promoters and we spend a lot of time. But I also find a lot of value in talking to the small breeder, the small company. I was just at Dallas NARBC show last week, and I got very excited just to stop and talk to the lady that made the bracelets. So these bracelets are Snakelets, is what it's called.
Snakelets.
Yes, and it's modeled after a colubrid king snake pattern, right? And she has a wide variety of stuff. I'd never seen her before. But her booth, number one, presentation was great. Visually drew me in. I was like, I need to check this product out. And I got there and I saw these. I mean, they just caught my eye. And, I bought a couple right away. But I also then went and shared the picture and the info on my Redline page, but also on the Reptile Report page, a much bigger audience, because I want more people to see what she's doing.
Yeah, sometimes it's like when you meet the person for the first time, you see their energy, their creativity. You know they're going to be somebody very, very soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely, right? There's kind of a magic there. But the magic and the connection doesn't happen unless you connect.
Truly.
So when I'm going to a show, I'm aggressively looking to connect with people around the show. But what other folks have to understand is that doesn't mean you have to wait for somebody to come see you. You can go out and see them. You can stop me in the aisle and say, hey, I want to talk to you about this, or I want to run this by you, or I have this idea, or I want you to come see my product at the table, or come see my animals. I'm not going to say no, because that's what it's all about.
I know you're flying the world to make connections. Like,
yes.
I just flew to California this morning.
I did fly here just so I could be at Palmstreet and connect some more with you. And we did go have sushi, so that was nice.
That was nice.
But yeah, the connections are just so important and powerful. So, I could talk about this kind of subject for 3 hours, no problem. But we only have 30 minutes. And so we're already at the end. And we're already wrapping up. What I would like to see from the Epic Conference, there's 5 different tracks. There's 15 plus talks about many different subjects. And what I want people to see is watch live talks, but then also go and watch the streaming talks afterwards and see the rest of the talks and the rest of the subjects. And I want people to just see if they can find one takeaway from the event, one thought, one philosophy, one strategy, one seed of an idea that they can apply to their personal life, to their business life, to their breeding life, maybe to their next Palmstreet Live. One takeaway that you get from the Epic Conference that can help you move your business forward, right? Move yourself forward. Move your hobby forward. And maybe it's not that personal. Maybe it's going to move your whole industry forward.
Exactly.
That's what I'm hoping to see. So thanks for joining us today. This is Chen from Palmstreet, Robyn from Redline. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Next time.